Good morning, Vietnam. David Castro, Big Chris, Timothy, Megatron gets it right. Easily recognizable Vince Neil. Old Christian Henny is back. X-Mask in the chat. Domino's Pizza is good stuff every now and again, especially when it's cold. Denny's in the chat. Pedro Valentin, Palante. We are ending. We only have 2 more days till 2025. BJ back. Nino is in the chat as well. Good to see everybody. We have 2 more days until the biggest divorce month every year, January, happens. January is the biggest month for divorce attorneys. They probably have back-to-back meetings literally for the first 3 to 4 weeks. They're probably working 100 hours a week, getting people in and charging them big money to listen to their sob story, please. Oh, we need a pizza. Pizza sounds good today, brother. So, what is the true cost of divorce? Now, the reason people begin the divorce process in January is very simple. Most couples want to go through that last holiday season together. Maybe there's a chance that the Christmas tree and the lights and the mistletoe and the parties will bring them back together. It's, fool's thinking. Once they've decided that divorce is over, the marriage is over, it's over. Another reason is tax advantages. People wait through the end of the year so they kind of have an idea of where they're going to sit financially when it comes tax time. That's another big deal. And finally, one of the biggest issues is to start a new year with your new life. You go, girl. Eat, pray, love for 300. Timothy says, the crew and coffee. I am now awake. We love the Motley Crue. I love Vince Neil Motley Crue. I mean, yeah, you can say what you want, but they've got some pounding hits. Pedro is going to be a year older in January. Well, happy birthday, brother. When that time comes. My sister was born in January 31st, my second sister. So that is the reality. But the true cost of divorce is something that most people don't think about. A lot of women cheat on their husbands and boyfriends during the New Year celebration. I don't think you're wrong, Chris. Suzanne from Florida, effing lawyers greedy. It's funny. I had a really good lawyer. My lawyer is quite expensive. Now you can look at the cost of divorce financially. Every time that you file, the court costs are very minimal. It's the lawyers involved. It's the time the lawyers spend tracking down discovery pieces, putting their petitions together. A lot of these are also templates that they use, especially the good ones. They'll put the information that they won cases on and put your name in it and so forth. The 14th for Pedro. Good for you, brother. I would figure taxes and New Year's resolution. Yep. Well said, Timothy. Attaboy. Watching some Tom Cats. Mick Mars is the unsung hero of the crew. 100%, brother. Men's Daily in the chat. Good to see you, brother. We'll have to remember January 14th for Pedro. So the cost can be anything. If it's non-contested, if you and your lady or your soon-to-be ex goes and does it by yourself, it could be as little as $1,000. Court filing fees, maybe have an attorney look it over for alimony and custody. That would be the best situation, but typically that doesn't happen in most. I would say the people I know that got divorced went through court, had both separate attorneys. Very few people did it on their own. People that don't have a lot of money might use like a pro bono service. But for the most part, my sister and brother-in-law did it on their own. He was also an attorney, but their costs were quite minimal. So, but if it's contested and 2 lawyers are involved, oh man, it's a shit show. Talk about the amount of money you'll both spend. I've told people the potential cost of my divorce, just my side, was enough to buy a brand new Porsche Carrera Turbo. That's just the filing and the attorney costs. It has nothing to do with the additional cost. Does it include going to your attorney during work hours? Remember, they don't work at night for you. You have to take off time to go and see them during work. Could be an hour or 2 hours. So let's say you make $100,000 a year. What is that? $70, $60 an hour, $50 an hour, probably somewhere around there. So that 2 hours plus the half hour getting there, half hour, you have 3 hours you have to take off work if you don't have vacation. And that's $150. Plus you're paying on top of that your attorney probably $250 to $400. If you're paying under $400 to $450 an hour, you're most likely getting a not as good as attorney. The best attorneys cost a lot of money. $500, $600, $700 is not. And some charge $1,000 if you're in New York and Chicago. So think about those costs, the costs that don't involve filing and your attorney costs, but the cost it takes for you to put gas in that car, to drive to the attorney's office, to sit while you could be making wages. Those are just the financial costs. Brad, my ex-wife, words at the time of divorce, I am going to find a rich lawyer. I found out recently she was dating 5 years older man who lives in parents' basement and didn't pay for a date. Typical, Betty. Why does it seem to me that the couples that have kids are the ones that are more heavy than childless couples? Laziness, Mysterio. Mighty Mysterio from Winnipeg. Good to see you. Laziness, they'd rather just sit on the couch. They don't want to do a lot of work, where childless people have more time on their hands and they don't want to sit around all day. Well, maybe that's what they're doing. Now, her words, which I listen from every single woman with kids and cats in the 40s and 50s, I am not going to settle down. What is wrong with men? Where are the good men? She becomes the pool now. Well said, Betty. I would take the Porsche too. Why do you think that most women file? When a woman has had enough, Mysterio, she's done. There's no turning around. She's decided many months in advance that she will do that. It is a waste of time and money. And those are just the financial costs. Now let's talk about the other costs, physical costs. What is that going to do physically to your health? We're not talking mental or emotional health. We'll get to that. Physical health, lots of heart attacks, lots of challenging issues. Look what happened to Dr. Dre. He almost had a brain, what did he have, some sort of aneurysm heart attack when he was going through divorce. A rich guy, almost worth $1 billion, struggling physically. Laying off the sugar in both food and other cases. Awesome, Mega. This is a year to get in shape. Some men do everything to impress women. That is weak behavior. They sure do. I've been binging John Wick flicks. I love John Wick. Don't kill John's dog. You don't want to see the repercussions. I'd rather drive the truck. And we age. I mean, think about all that stress, what it does physically to your body. It's no surprise that men going through divorce look like they're 10 years older. Their health, they're most like, some might not eat, some might hit the bottle, some might eat too much, get fat, some might not take care of themselves physically. Good to see Harshit Sandir from India. I haven't seen you for a while, brother. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, I figure you're saying Benji. They keep saying the day 14 was expensive. I think your ex-wife and my ex-girlfriend wasn't expensive. When you have 20 years of divorce or marriage and 3 kids and, move to 3 different houses in your life, you do have some assets built up. But that's part of it. We understand 50% goes away. But I'm just talking about the true cost of divorce. The true cost, meaning what are you giving up to get divorced? I worded my question wrong. I meant that couples with kids are the ones that seem to divorce more than the couples that decided to not have kids. I would agree with that statement. I don't know. Maybe they get tired of each other. They realize that being parents, they're not husband and wife anymore. They're just parents. The F-14. Attaboy. Child joint custody cost for me included contested custody with 0 child support, no supervised visits, equal rights, and final say. So I got my daughter's passport. Cost me between. Well, you got off easy there, brother. Good for you. What's some juicy news I want to hear? It's Timothy, my divorce in the late 80s was $2K. Jeez, that's like pocket change. The Linda Curry story I sent you should be a lesson to everyone. She couldn't detect evil in people and died because of it. So sad. Yes, that was a sad story. I spent so much money on the divorce, but I stopped when the house was about to be sold. I looked at my kids and didn't want to make them live in an apartment at that age. I hear you. Mayor of bodybuilding, good to see you. World's most expensive temper tantrum. Laying it down to Chinatown, Mayor. Yeah, who's that chick? Perry? I can't remember that British chick. She's going to do 1,000. She'll be self-delete within 18 months. Men and ladies are not meant to live together. How would you like to live with a wild animal? Well, we just have two different brains. I mean, it's very difficult to have a cohesive. She has a different operating system, and we have an operating system different. So tell me how it would work. If you look back, if you look at marriage from the outside in, how does it work based on that? No matter the price, good money spent to get rid of the drama. Yes, they say divorce is expensive and it's worth it. Good to see Manasseh back. Yeah, that chick is destroyed beyond repair. But add in the court fees and child support, and it was upwards of 7 and 9. Well, that's still a lot cheaper. They say today's average divorce, I don't believe it, 7,000 if it's like basic, like what Men's Daily went through, or 15 to 20 if you have lawyers. No, it's not. It's way more expensive. I got divorced almost 9 years ago. 9 years ago. Over 9 years ago. And I can't imagine how much it's gone up in almost a decade, especially with the amount of divorce. So you guys got off pretty okay. But still, those are just financial cost of the divorce, lawyer, court fees, and things like that. But what about the emotional cost? This is where the true cost of divorce comes in. Disney princess syndrome is the cause of temper tantrum. Learn to watch your backs. Well said, Mega. Well said, brother. Simone says, do you believe that her ex-husband deleted her? That's a good question, Simone. I'm still thinking about that. In today's world, no man, and I guess woman, can go into marriage with blinders. No one can do it. You can't. You can't go into a fantasy thinking it's reality. Some people tend to gain weight during the first 2 years of their children's birth due to lack of sleep and eating convenient foods to save. Yes, you're absolutely right. I mean, we gain weight. She gained weight and I gained weight. I mean, it's you're out of energy when you're dealing with little kids. The term ball and chain ain't no joke. Well said, brother. Retainer, yeah, my retainer was $3,000. I think they run about $5,000 today. And if you go to court trial, you're just a retainer on a trial. This was 10 years ago. We never got to 98% of all divorces never go to trial. It's always settled. Number one, the attorneys don't want to go to trial. Most of them aren't skilled for trial. They try to get all these templates buttoned up before any of that shit happens, while they're milking you as well, the clients. The more time you spend with her, the higher chance of you inheriting her mental issues. Well said, X-Mask. Good to see Rafter in the chat. That 17 to 2000 was for the 2 times I went, but I was smart enough to file first while my child was young, and I prepared just in case her dumbass decided to monkey branch, and she did to my brother. Good for you for preparing, brother. Rad, you're the one that made me look at divorce being a business in terms of one party and the counts and the court's getting money. Stay out of court, Mysterio. We don't want you going through it. Attaboy. Get some toys, Christian. A 4K TV. But let's talk about the emotional toll. I think the emotional toll is high. The emotional and mental toll are the true cost of divorce. Most men can't get past it. They can't get past the rejection. They're trying to figure out what went wrong. They gave that woman everything, or they thought they did. Family, housing, they worked their ass off. What went wrong? They'll stay in a cycle like this forever. And that mental and emotional pain will lead to other things. Most likely alcohol. We've all been hit the bottle at one point or another in our lives. Could lead to drug abuse, addictions, gambling, sexual addictions as well. Could lead to a lot of different things for them to hide from the pain that they suffered. A lot of these they always say, oh, you'll find a new one, the true cost of divorce. Yeah, just get through it, get over the child support, the alimony, get over the court costs, you build yourself back. It's not easy to build yourself back. I don't care how much money you have or the ability you have, it still takes time. And a lot of guys get trapped in that vortex of pain. And that pain leads to other non-recommended, cities of life. My attorney said in most divorces, one person has a mental illness. I would agree with that statement. I think mine she was on several different head meds. And I think it might have had to do with postpartum, maybe. I don't know. Timothy says, watch my 2 sons in diapers drive away, never to be seen again. Yeah, the emotional toll. That's another thing. Well said, Timothy. losing your kids, what it does to a man. Why do you think men self-delete? The pain of not seeing their kids, the pain of giving everything that they could from the bottom of their heart to raise kids and have a family struck and destroyed and taken from them through the courts. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch that again, Simone. I think you might be onto something. $200K for me, but I kept the house in Connecticut. That's just cat. But if you, Pedro, if you put in all the other costs, you know, what about emotional, mental? What about guys that go to therapy? They have to go to doctors. The cost of getting medications, doctor visits, tests done based on this divorce. You see where the true cost of divorce is? It's much higher than what people think. Good to see the legendary John Boston. He knows a thing or two. Happy New Year to you, brother. My physical health, it wasn't good at first. I always did. My youngest was 10. I raised my kids, and then all of a sudden, the first week I don't see them. It's tough. It's tough. I had to rely on some friends and a little bit of the bottle, to tell you the truth. Happy New Year. Good to see Riff Rage back in the chat. Good to see you, brother. If you were burnt twice, then it's your fault. Correct. Most people after divorce are cooked. They try to heal themselves by marrying again, but it becomes worse, and they end up being more cooked. 100%, Betty. They try to escape their pain by finding a new woman. I want to make an app that figured out a divorce settlement and creates a report of why you should settle instead of litigate, common sense, and reason. I would think that would be a great app, John. Unfortunately, women are so tied to their emotional, the emotional results that they will drag a man no matter what the cost. Channels like Big John, CGA helped me a lot. Yeah, me too, bro. Me too. Big John helped me a shit ton. Take what I say lightly. Are you serious? You did not see your kids again for a long time. I don't think several of our buddies in this chat have not seen their kids for years. I think Otto, All Seeing Otto, hasn't seen his kids for 3 years. Ed hasn't seen his daughters or talked to them. Pete has a very difficult relationship. Yeah, we got challenges. Paul Elam. Yep, I like Paul Elam, some of his stuff. My 401k is empty now at the age of 42. Imagine what divorce did to me. Yeah, it's and to build back. You know, you got to build back again at age 40. It's not easy. Child custody cases are why people spend all that money. Women will destroy the family and ruin everything for $600 in monthly child support. Bingo. John's not telling a lie there. Why would a woman who has no family ties in the state of Tennessee choose Tennessee for the place to get married, other than to try and use the lax divorce laws to disable a prenup she signed? Women are quite clever when it comes to divorce, Big Chris. Not seeing my daughters every day was one of the hardest things to deal with ever. I had 9-year-old twins. There you go. That's exactly if you were penniless, but you could see your kids every day, I guarantee you'd be in a different situation. These are the challenges. These are the true costs of divorce. Not seeing your kids. Good for you, Simone. Keep speaking. You're speaking good English, man. Haven't seen him ever, Mysterio. Even got charged for stalking. Yep. Hopefully someday when they're 18, but it sounds like they might be 18 or older. Timothy, I can't remember the age of your kids. Tro, good to see you. Tro's another guy, been through it. My ex kicked off the divorce with a blank order, and I didn't see my kids for 100 days. Guys, do you understand those first 100 days is where most men self-delete? When we're trying to help men rebuild themselves in any form or fashion. Can every man rebuild themselves after divorce? They have the potential, but most men try to. A lot of them are still stuck in that vortex of pain. It's unfortunate. Most ladies will never settle. They all think they are a 10. Well said, X-Mask. Gone Fishing is back. Good to see you, brother. Forsaken One. Learning from other men. Avoid women in their games. It's not worth the squeeze. Ain't that the truth, brother? Good to see you. I have no clue how a man can put up with a woman who is in her 40s and 50s with a few kids, fat and angry. Before I used to think that there is a simp for every one of these old broke 304s. There's not just one simp, there's multiple. My ex put an RO on me and I didn't see my kids for 100 days. And what time In that time, I called in favors from attorneys I knew in grad school, and the attack was planned. Hired my own psychiatrist to deal with the gal. See, it is challenging. It's just not a financial situation. Finance is 20% of the whole situation. It's the other things. So not hearing your kids play with each other during the day, play with their toys, hear the rambunctious and the chaos and the laughter and all the things that we love and don't like about raising kids. That's what you begin to miss. Pedro says they just don't care. They don't. Their emotions at this point have hijacked all sensibility of themselves. My kids were older. A majority complication is having an autistic adult son. That's challenging, brother. I'm sure you have to see the ex quite a bit because of your son. Would that be true? My buddy has a special needs kid that's 26, and he still sees the ex, even though they've been divorced for a few years. It's tough to hear these stories when men haven't seen their kids and fathers haven't seen their kids. Nah, I think you're right, Simone. My sons are, by my estimate, are close to 30 now. Both have been in jail. One is in prison when I hired a prep. Jeez. Well, that's what happens without a father. And all she did was try to get revenge on you by stealing those kids, brother. Oh, our heart goes out to Timothy. Rev, good to see you, brother. Starting his job tomorrow, I believe, right? I didn't see my sons for 6 months after RO. They were small, 7 and 3, and after such a long gap, I could sense the damage it caused on our father and son's relationship. My heart sunk once I realized that. Yeah, people think fathers don't love their kids. Bullshit. I'll do anything for my kids. My ex said you'll never see them again, even though it was joint. I stayed away, lived a single life. She eventually got sick of the 24/7 and dropped them off with me. You know what? I wish more men would do that. Fine, take them over. You got 24/7. Watch their life while you're out enjoying life. They'll come back like they do. To this day, my ex's entire law firm cannot bring an RO to a district court and use that to tie up cases. I took millions from the attorneys. They want 10% of what you have, if not more. Good for you, John. When you were just working and dealing with life, was the divorce proceeding so intrusive? Yes, it sucked. The anxiety of having to get another email from your attorney about something she said or did or wants, the stress and the anxiety was very difficult. A great family law and divorce attorney that fights in trials and has your and your kids' best interest rather than the best interest of your pocket is worth every penny. Trust, I went to trial twice. See, very few go to trial. We should actually do a live stream with you on that, brother. My attorney was a trial lawyer. He wanted to put her on stand, and just to retain her, I think I mentioned this a couple minutes ago, just to retain her, even though he's my attorney for 2 years, was $25,000. Just to retain her. You know, they'll eat that up in 2 days. Plus, the trial would probably go on for 3 to 4 weeks, another $50,000 easily. Only a woman can use a beloved child as a pawn for revenge. You're telling the truth, brother. Yes, we don't speak, but I never say a bad word. Kids are my focus. Men live their lives, live their kids, love their kids big time. Absolutely. Yeah, never say a bad word. Take the high road, even though it's tough. If you want to vent to us. Write it down. Vent to your buddies. Don't ever vent to the woman. Gives her power. Jay says, I give thanks. I never knocked up a chick during my reckless days. Good for you, brother. You have avoided a huge life of a shit show. I'm doing my best to make sure they will have a normal life and won't end up homeless or losers. I cannot guarantee the future, but I was a few days away from leaving the U.S. for India. I couldn't do it. Your kids are going to be fine. They got a good dad in you, Betty. All ladies switch up and change. It always happens. One woman is really 3, if not 30. Well said, X-Mass. My attorney said that most women are 1,000 different versions of women. Mr. Sammy is back in the chat. Appreciate you being here. My ex's attorney went to 3 different judges to try to sell my homes, and I said these homes are not for sale, and she can leave now, and we can settle this today. I ripped up motions to have homes sold. Yeah, well, they can't go and just start saying, because I'm a woman, I can have the house sell. Mine tried to do that. I said, get in line. Does living together first do anything to route out the comp? That might be something. I never lived with her. I wonder if that works. I do know that people that live together and then they marry like 4 or 5 years later after their cohabitation usually end up divorced. or quite a significant majority do. It's like that carrot, the rabbit and the carrot. It's easy for women to delete them in the womb. It's like they have no conscience or empathy for anyone but themselves. Well said, Trogue. If a woman's willing to delete their unborn baby, what does that tell you about that woman? Better be obsessed with crime news than adult content. I like to be well respected. Go watch 48 Hours. Google 48 Hours. It's a TV show. It's all about dudes deleting their women, women deleting their men. You notice on these channels that talk about male and female dynamics that the women are not discouraging marriage or being like a female. Well, women are entitled at this point in life. That's the problem. They're entitled and they don't care because they know they'll have 100 simps line up if this one doesn't like them. Or if one guy calls her shit out, she's got 100 simps on him on the line. I had two lawyers on retainer, one for divorce, one for alienation. These lawyers both cut me major breaks. Good for you, brother. You know, I had a good attorney, expensive, but he knew exactly how many assets we had, and he, you know, I probably overpaid 10 grand, but I'm not going to bitch and moan about it. 25 grand for the divorce attorney. Here in Missouri or Kansas, you could have a way cheaper retainer from an attorney, and that's in Utah. But I got the best attorney I could buy. Wolf says, "Glad I never married any of these crappers I dated." Good to see Wolf. Had the red pill rage bad. If not the military, I know I'd either be dead or in prison. That rage is real, Timothy. And look at Timothy not seeing his kids, had to find a private detective, and he still makes it through to share that experience. We appreciate that. But those are the horrible experiences in life. Not seeing your kids that you loved, that you would do anything for because a woman's unhappy and the court side with her. Everyone needs to understand that these attorneys and judges all go to the same Christmas parties, and they all know, yes, they do. They know each other's birthdays, their kids' birthdays, the judge's anniversary date, who the judge is sleeping with. They know it all. Good for you. Keep checking out 48 Hours. Some ladies want to be a 304 until they get old and can barely get prego. How convenient. Now, they want to live the you go girl. As long as they can. Mouth of Gabe's back. I had to see my ex-wife for the first time 12 years yesterday. Or 2 years yesterday. Is it 2 or 12? She isn't aging well. She's drinking, smoking, and smoking weed like her live-in boyfriend. I haven't seen mine for over 16 months, and I guarantee she doesn't look good. She's all filled up with fillers, and she's aged, got the turkey neck. Whatever. I'm healed now, but man, the pain is so bad. Had great support in the gym. The pain. Let's just talk about the pain of divorce. We're not bitching and moaning. These idiots, these incels are so upset because their women left them. And we're not talking about that. We're talking about the true cost of divorce and the kids involved, the mental, the physical, the emotional. Glad you're here listening to these comments too, Christian. Appreciate you being here, brother. My 3 friends that lived together before marriage are divorced and bad. My other 3 friends did not live together before marriage, are still together and thriving. Interesting. All right, so that proves my point. If you marry while you've lived together, it's very difficult. Once motions are filed and discovery starts, don't think for 1 second and the attorneys call each other and say, how much do you want to take? There you go. Well said, John. It's a business. We're all struggling and trying to find out why the reason our exes are our exes. I just think relationships have expiration dates in the end. Men and women just don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. The majority. Depends on the girl, but if you're only cohabiting, they are on their best behavior to lock you down. There you go. Then the moment she either gets the ring or pregnant, the guillotine comes down. You are not mistaken. Oh, it's 2 years. Yeah. You probably have no attraction to her, do you? Be rid of excess female validation can be our New Year's resolution. Well said. Hey, but she hag maxing. That's funny. Probate court isn't supposed to be hostile. Federal court is where the real hell happens. Oh, I bet. Unlike, there's no deadly women in the background or loud music. There you go. Good to see seeing Otto. Otto knows a thing or two. He hasn't seen his kid for a few years. Our heart goes out to you, brother. Yes, they would. They would look at us as being misogynistic and angry and pouting men. Nino says, Man Talk on YouTube, great channel for men. I'll check it out. There's some good channels out there, definitely. We got some great creators in here already. We wouldn't be here. Yeah. We wouldn't be here if divorce wasn't such a prevalent thing. Yeah, we're not incels. Other than lust, what else does she bring to the table? Invest and protect yourself at all times. I just think that it's a challenge, all relationships. Depends on where you're at in life. My latest ex is dragging out the process, canceling meetings to resolve. I think she wants me to yeet myself. Of course. That would be the ultimate, like, if the guy deletes himself. She would take so much, like, I know women whose husbands delete themselves and they just, they wear it as a trophy. Damn Timothy situation ain't no joke. It's crazy how they can keep the kids away, collect the cash, and continue to talk bad on the father. They sure do. Tom Likas did talk about it. I got an underground bunker mansion with over 100 years of non-perishable food and water to sell if you can find a worthless Ram through 304. That would be well. There you go, Big Chris. Men rarely leave relationships. Women choose up front, men choose on the back end. It is her job to be feminine and cooperative. Men are not supposed to keep women. Ex-mask. I like Tom Likas, even though he's a stinking libtard, but he did have some great advice. We were at the attorney's office a year after she filed. The first thing I said to my ex was, if you talked to me instead of these a-holes, you would have a better deal. Her attorneys didn't say anything. Good for you for standing up. Base 304 taught me a lesson in the Navy, just looking for a sucker to divorce and steal from. There you go. It's always about, a lot of women, they're solipsistic, if you think about it. They're the only people that matter in this universe. It's really a spiritual demon these women have in them, like witches. Only a matter of time when the demon is manifested. Sure. Not all, 98%. 98% of the women are not recommended. Listen, guys, there will be no thoughts of self-harm or deletion because of a woman. That's a non-negotiable. Get out, walk, play an instrument. Well said. That gives her the ultimate power. The self-deletion of men. It's really sad. And we're here to help men get through these things. And there's going to be more and more men waking up each and every day for the next 100 million years, if humanity lasts that long. It's easier to see the Statue of Liberty that is a woman over Mount Rushmore that have 4 men that basically built the foundation of America. What gets seen more, Mount Rushmore or the Statue of Liberty? She has a strong American accent. It does seem fake, does it? Yeah, absolutely. But those are the costs of divorce. And then finally, the spiritual costs. The spiritual costs of, why am I on this earth? What's this life about? Really difficult questions of being alive. The spiritual cost of divorce. Most men quit going to church, or, they leave their religion. They became agnostic or whatever. They quit believing in anything of divinity. And, that takes a toll as well. The 2% was riding your schlong last night. Attaboy. I would put my hand up and ask the judge questions, and the attorneys hated it. It got so bad that the judge looked at my ex and said, why is this case in my court? Good. Destroy that courtroom. Brad, don't you think Scotty looks like a famous, cool actor? He looks like a little bit like the actor from Bad Santa. Yeah, Scotty's a good dude. His channel is doing well. It's good to see his channel hasn't been nuked. The subject here is why MGTOW is global, says Timothy. Yeah, absolutely. True cost of divorce ain't no joke, guys. Ain't no joke. And I won't read that comment, but he seems to be a modern day Robin Hood for some. My experience taught me how sick this society is. It's challenging. Thank you, Nino, for saying that. But, we all help each other in the end of the day. Hearing your stories reinforces my story and vice versa. Good morning to the Emperor. Happy New Year to you, Mr. Chris Mitchell. Good to see you, brother. All the way up in cold Canada. Statue of Liberty gets seen by every illegal that gets flown into New York. So I'd say millions see it. That's what I'm saying. Men are always back they're out of the forefront, right? You're not mistaken. You're not mistaken. The entitlement of women today, believing that all of them have a golden vagina and that put out the best intimacy. They deserve the richest guy in the world. Well, if Elon Musk can't keep women, if Jeff Bezos can't keep women, if Schwarzenegger can't get women, what does that tell you? I think 2025 Stallone is gonna his wife is going to re-up the divorce proceedings. The Punisher is making a comeback. I see. There you go. The big scam, forensic accountant, total scam. They had a field day. The ex's attorney hired someone he knew, and I'm sure he got a cut. Mine hired a forensic, and I'm like, what are you looking for? They ran through our bank account. What are you gonna? How are you? What are you gonna find? Well, he spent $29 at a sushi place. It only cost $12. Did he take somebody out? No, I got all you can eat sushi. Being an Italian, I do think there's nothing more satisfying than playing Dante's Inferno. We like our Italian brothers. If Touchdown Tommy can't keep a woman, who can? There you go. Tom Brady. And the Johnny Depp craziness. Well said, Pedro. And he wasn't even married to her that long or had any kids. Bring back the old Punisher skull. Violence and fear kept the marriage intact. You pay a heavy price for the civilization. Well said, Betty. Trog says, recently I've had some women staring at me and smiling. If they only knew they have zero power over me, it's the disdain they find attractive. They are messed up. They love the fact that you don't give a shit. The lawyers and judges all know each other. They do. Guys, it's divorce court. It's night court on TV. They all know each other. They're friends. They probably all went and worked for the same firms. There's millionaires that can't get threesomes because all ladies want their own simp. There you go. Tom Brady got dumped. He's got, I don't know. He doesn't seem like he has a personality to me, but I could be wrong. Rich mother effer. I think he probably wishes he stayed with her, John, the Bridget gal. Dr. Dre, Tom Brady, Tyrese should have taught us all a lot about family law, the unfair divorce laws, and crazy child support required payments. I got traumatized to not get married. Well said, Men's Daily. SG in the chat. Good to see you. How God put God first, man. You can't go wrong. Yeah, I mean, put a divine power in your, know that we're not. This is just not some. There's something infinite and infinite intelligence. Call it divine. Call it God. Call it Brahma. Call it whatever. There's something to this universe. Could be our overlords. Who knows? But there's something divine. Have you seen Liberty Rushmore up close? Yes. Beautiful, beautiful monuments, statues. Back in grammar school, somebody liked an Italian. Big world. It's the ones without values that don't work. I go back home to Tennessee and there's neighborhoods full of families. I think you're right, brother. Good to see you. Values are what's key. And a lot of places in this, and especially in the West, are losing morals and values. If I ever end up in court for any reason, I'm saying my dog stepped on a bee and then I'll start crying. I had pictures of the judges and attorneys at parties and brought them to the board and said, this is all corruption. I regret going after their law license. Well, most of those judges work for law firms, so they know people. In fact, our judge taught my attorney when he started in the 90s. They knew each other. They were friends. I mean, that helps. It's all who they know. They now resemble the evil Pharisee bagels. The red pill works when you realize it's just poon. I know what you're saying, Wolf. It has no power over you. Give them nothing. Once you realize post-nut clarity, it makes sense. Well said, Timothy. If Stallone's ex goes back to her divorce mentality, how does she win at 50? Now, someone will marry her, but she'll get more money because Stallone's made some good good financial decision in the last 2 years. So SG says, was married over 20 years. She threw me out right after we moved 3 time zones, and I ended up in a homeless shelter for a time. Been 2 years, and I'm slowly getting back on track. Good to hear that. Not good to hear what happened to you, but glad you are back in the mend. You are always welcome here to share your story. One thing's for sure, Rambo doesn't know how to control his broad. He's probably a simp at the end of the day. I told a liberal woman I know that I'm going to Mount Rushmore in 2028 when they add Trump to the mountain. She flipped out. Swipe left if you like Trump. One thing is that Dr. Phil is a fraud compared to all. Well, Dr. Phil is a simp. He's controlled by the globalists. Fickle and whimsical does not just describe a simp. Do you know that marriage is seen as an eventuality from birth to the grave? Yes, it's part of our programming. 100%, Mr. O. If you want any justice, stay out of courts. Giselle felt that Brady prioritized his career over their family and caused significant tension in their marriage. Translation, Tom gave us a great life, but now I'm not happy. I'm bored because I don't want to go to the football games and watch him win a Super Bowl. May the coming year bring peace and a bit of intelligence to everyone. Bingo. Funny how everyone forgets Superman, Super Mario, and are the simps of sacrifice. The villains are sane ones. You're not mistaken, Forsaken One. It's a great analogy. There are some lawyers that advocate for men if you have the money. Sure. You got to have the money, though. From what I know about your story, it sounded like your ex is being influenced the wrong way. She worked with a bunch of divorced people. Kids were getting older. Just the marriage wheel. Got to say, it hurt to hear my sister tell me she finds me to be difficult to be around, but I know exactly how to treat her mood. It's just words. Don't worry about them. It's just words. Actions. Watch her actions than anything. Reverend. Giselle said, I'm not happy, and started to cry like that clip CGA. I'm not happy. I get hit at the Home Depot by 30-somethings. It's great watching the get bummed when I ignore them. Well, because every other man would be lining up on their knees, wanting their phone number. The real fun starts January 20th, brother. Well said, Jay. Dr. Phil takes it in a different place where the sun don't shine, where the rubber meets the road. I like when he says that. Well, the rubber, you just don't understand what's happening when the rubber hits the road. They're planning it, Mr. Sammy. Well said, brother. She's after my dad's money and house. But boy, money can really do a thing or two to a lady's psyche. Total grifter, Timothy. Total grifter, Dr. Phil. Ladies are very unpredictable. Simps are like clockwork. Absolutely. Giselle will probably start doing modeling shoots, and she's pregnant at 42. I wonder if that baby's going to be okay, because those are some older eggs. He is red. I don't know. He's just he's kind of like that Matt Walsh guy. What about waiting till you're really old and getting a young woman, have a few good seasons before the divorce? TJ Pindar, good to see you. Where are you from? Well, some guys do that. They don't want to go through life, more of a caretaker. I don't know. Depends on how much you can deal with the emotional ups and downs of a woman at that point. Rad, who was the girl that made you feel sick being around? Probably the ex-wife in the end. Next divorces, LaWimp James and Seth Curry, most likely, brother. So the actual reason she was influenced, no. Most of her friends were divorced. I think that's a huge thing. But I think just she could never control me. She wanted to turn me into a beta simp, and it didn't work. In my life, I've had 4 or 5 married women and friends start complaining about their husband and clearly want to excuse themselves for sleeping with me. I follow the bro code. There you go, brother. Travis Kelce going to find out next. Oh, they'll be divorced. You know that if they get married. I was at the supermarket down. Damn, the gorditas are all full out in force. They look like stuffed sausages and Lulu pans. With the big old panis, the big old spare tire muffin top. When life gets tough, don't give up. Keep chasing your dreams. Eventually, you'll make it. Yeah, just 1 minute at a time. SG says, been getting some attention even now in my late 40s. It's a little bit amusing to see their reaction by not letting them catch me. Yeah, they love the guys that don't give them attention. I had women tell me I made them feel peaceful, good, and relaxed with my presence, yet goofball sis is saying that. Yeah. She's probably medicated or has a mental illness. My sister does. Women are hitting on Tim. He's probably a Chad. Diddy's going to be a prison bride, most likely. Tom Brady was number 12. Good to see Gerald. In the 12 Cents of Christmas. That's funny. Yes, next month begins. It begins in January. Most of the filings are in March because it takes 4 to 6 weeks of gathering all the information and but it starts in January. Wolf says divorced chicks are easy to bang. Of course, absolutely. They want a new taste of something. 90% of the population is undateable. Absolutely. 98% of women are not recommended. There are some good women out there. I've known some. I agree with you. The divorced women, especially if they knew you before they were married. I had a high school woman reach out to me. A lot of these women that divorce their husbands usually get with a past boyfriend or a past colleague from work or school. They're Chad Maxing. Read a great book about the origins of Van Halen. Talk about determination. Played for 2 years before getting signed. Mammoth. My Patriots look like the gay boy band sponsored by P. Diddler. I just hope the Chiefs don't go again. I'm tired of the Chiefs. No disrespect to Chiefs fans. I just want to see a different matchup. The 12 Cents of Christmas. Do you think he's trying to? Well, look, Brady's not going to have a problem. I mean, the Giselle is still attractive. Let's be real. Every one of you would nail her in this chat. She still looks pretty good at 42. But she's whacked. She's mentally ill. She got rid of the GOAT of all time football player for a trainer. That trainer just feels like a loser. He's like, man, you're with me, but your ex-husband is the GOAT of all time when it comes to football. Or he might be thinking, man, I took the GOAT's lady. Who knows? Divorced chicks are like mopeds. Fun to ride, but you don't want to be seen around with them. Scooters. We call them scooters. Fun to ride, but you don't want your friends to see you on them. You live in Connecticut, but love the Chargers. San Diego Chargers for 300. Remember the USFL? In Portland, Oregon, we had the Portland Breakers. Very hard for most men to put chicks on the back burner. That's due to our desires for physical affection from a woman, especially the younger the man are. I agree with that statement, brother. Mahomes is a gump. We'll end up divorce scraped. His lady is not very attractive in my book. Decent body, but I don't think she's very attractive. She's got a butterface. New Britain, Connecticut. I've never been to Connecticut. Belichick is dating a 24-year-old and she's hanging out with him at Nantucket. I saw that picture. of them. You know what? Good for him for banging a young chick. Autobot, what kind of moped did you get? Packers versus the Oilers, the Diddy Super Bowl. And who else? And the Rams. Don't forget the Rams in the Diddy Super Bowl. I'm being a single bachelor for the rest of my life. That's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. My 2025 goal, train daily to beat AI when it comes to translating. Good for you. Set your goals. Just set what you want to accomplish. Could be weight loss, could be working your body out at the gym, could be running a marathon, a half marathon, learning how to play guitar. Get your mind off pussy. And pussy is a drug. Let's be real, guys. It is an addictive drug. 12 Cents of Christmas for 2024 is an NFL player who waits outside in the car while his fiance has orgies that she puts on her OnlyFans account. I just heard, my buddy was telling me that a guy he knows has a daughter, and the daughter told him he's on OnlyFans, or told the dad she's on OnlyFans, and makes like $350,000 a year. I'm like, does the dad know that OnlyFans is basically like pornography? Go figure. Gave up on pro sports when I saw they get millions and soldiers, ambulance, and blue collar guys get crumbs. It's turned into a complete like diva circus. There you go, right by the university, Wolf. Mopeds are cool. I had a Yamaha moped or a scooter. I really hope my Buffalo Bills go to the Super Bowl this year and win it. They have a chance. They have a chance, Forsaken. They want grandkids, don't they, Rafter? Well, they want to see, they think the programming would make you happy. Nice little two-stroke there, Otto. I like 87. I'm a Chiefs fan, and we're trying to see if we can pull 3 in a row. We'll probably get, see, I know you're, no disrespect. I just want to see another matchup. That's all. You can't beat Andy Reid's success and his team. But I just want to see a different matchup. That's all. Because most likely the Chiefs will win. But if they win, congrats to you, Men's Daily. In our modern day society, no man can walk into marriage now. Women will have to really get it together before that happens. I think men are just, more and more men are waking up. If the Chiefs don't go, I'd like to see the Ravens. I mean, most likely, I guarantee the Chiefs will at least get very close to the Super Bowl. I mean, they're a very good team. Come back all the time. Mahomes is dope. I just want to see a new lineup. That's it. I'd love to see who would I like to see? The Jets, even though they suck, versus the Seahawks. I mean, just something different. And it's not going to happen. A recently divorced female coworker already went through 3 regular boyfriends in 9 months. Women once divorced, they go off getting around quickly. Meanwhile, it takes a lot for men to move on after divorce. 100%, Denny. Wolf wants a Lambretta 60s mod scooter with all of the lights. My buddy's got a couple of them. I have never seen an OnlyFans. I cannot understand how people give away money. It's simp level. I know. It's a mental illness for these men too. TJ Pinder says of the Falcons. Falcons might be the underdog coming in, huh? Or the Cinderella story. The OnlyFans women will be on for 3 to 5 years and then get off. It's not sustainable, right? It's like having a Subway sandwich on every corner. Couldn't afford her new. So as a man, I hand-built my Honda 750 bobber. Ooh, send me a picture of your bobber. rebelagainstdefeat@gmail.com. I like guys that turn like Hondas and other bikes into bobbers. I think bobbers are cool. The Indian Scout 60 is a cool-looking bobber. But I've seen some cool Asian bobbers too, so send me a picture. The Chiefs will win another one with the right officials. They're a good team. Let's be real. Rock a nice mod shark skin suit with creepers. With the way things are going with men and women, where do you think the future of America is going? More and more segregated between men and women. Men are just going to do their own thing. Good for you for not going on a dating app. Simping ain't easy, isn't it, Rev? Potentially, Bill Clinton said the only woman president will be a conservative one, and I tend to agree. Cool two-stroke, Sammy. I'm 57. I don't get OnlyFans. Guys give a credit card for a live fee of a woman that can be naked, and it's the same. Yeah, she gives it the same. It's just ridiculous. Many guys are leaving the U.S. Never in U.S. history has it been this affordable. I might consider it. Well, a lot of guys are leaving. Asia, South America, Mexico. Chiefs are the Golden State Warriors. Everyone is sick and tired of them going every year. Yeah. I remember Golden State. Remember every damn year they were in the finals. I haven't watched NFL since the kneeling, the Taylor Swift stuff is just a coup de grace for me. It's turned into a spectacle, hasn't it, Trogue? Accomplishing our goals is so rewarding. Nothing can substitute feeling, that feeling of really doing something and winning. 25 grand for a bobber. Harley went woke. They sure did. And they built an electric bike. It's so weird. I don't understand it because you can get it for free. No, it's because these women on OnlyFans send them little emojis so the men think that they're in love with them, that the women are in love with them. Oh, you're so, hi, sweetie. Thanks for that donation. You're so cute. Guy gets attention, gets validation. You need a crotch rocket, a ninja. I won't pay a woman to pleasure herself. Too much like getting divorced. There you go. Instead of stopping immigration, Trump should only let young women immigrate. TJ. Male OnlyFans does not exist. Female prostitutes still exist. What's going on? It's the oldest profession. If we want the Bears. I think the Bears are out, aren't they? Been a long time since Refrigerator Perry and Jim McMahon. Women delude each other. They look at dating apps together and think they can get all the top 1% guy, then brag to each other that they got a message from this top guy. If you're on a dating app and you swipe on a girl, do not reach out and text her. Let her come to you. All the men literally will start sending messages immediately. So she's turned off. It's the guy that doesn't. It's as simple as that. Easy psychology. Ninjas are cool. My buddy had a ninja in high school, 1987. If you're in your industry, do you have to compete with other salespeople? No, I have my own. Well, competitors. Competitors, yes. I'd be a bluesman, mod. A guitar on my back, leather vest, Beatle. It sounds like you'd be in the Kinks. You should be in the Kinks. There's a lot of expats. There's a lot more moving down to Nicaragua. Leon. I bet that was a chick magnet. Trogue and a skateboard. I think people go, wow, where's it going? I think the fishing industry is going to get big. Men, more and more men I hear are fishing. Just peace, quiet, and freedom. Throwing your lure into the river. I notice a drop off in the power of female actresses, and the men are the opposite. They seem more revered as they age. Denzel, Cruz. Well, yes, men can hold parts longer. Most women are washed up by the age of 40 in Hollywood. It's always a new 20-year-old starlet, right? Rode every motorcycle ever made, always beat, but in the wind is freedom. Ask any dog with his head out the truck window. Yeah, it feels good to have that wind in your face. You're so unavailable, Simone. What's happening with you? I'm chasing my dreams. No time to waste. That's a great response. I know women who are on these apps. I would be able to call them and have better chances in person than her trying to find a guy on an app. Well said. Only suckers. 100% Forsaken. Was blasting some good vinyl last night. Saturday thing. I really enjoy it. Simple yet satisfying with a glass of vino or stout. Stout for 300. Men become like Sean Connery and women become more like Sean Connery. SG laying it down. Brotherhood, I was playing Mafia, the HD collection known as the Definitive Edition. Good for you. Yeah, you know what the biggest thing in a red pill salesperson is? Be direct. Ask for the sale. That's it. And don't speak. He who speaks first loses, just like in dating app. He who texts first loses. So when you present an offer, you never speak. You let them read it. And then they ask you questions, and then you respond to those questions. You never ever, you are the one with the power. It just comes down to power. They're getting more desperate. Callisto Protocol. I don't know what that is. To quote, men age like fine wine and women age like milk. There are some women that age good. but very rare, especially if they're bitter. Yeah, women do marry themselves. Did a live on that. I realize that the NFL and sports in general is a fake normie BS distraction, but I still enjoy catching a game. Yeah, I mean, it's fun to go to a baseball game or something. It's a normie distraction. Well said, Rev. It's entertainment. You got to look at it as an entertainment. That's it. I want to go to Leon. I got to get down there. I'm going to be in Mexico next couple weeks. I've only seen my daughter once in almost 6 years. At this point, I give up. I let her love her. I let her tell God when she dies about her monkey branch to her new Captain Sabo. See, it's these stories that I mentioned to you earlier, Ed. You haven't seen your daughter for 6 years. It happens. This is not uncommon, guys. The alienation of kids. $43 million. I heard about that woman. That's crazy, John. K-Plant in the chat. Good to see you. Connery would slap some of today's world. Rest in peace to Sean Connery. Let's see. I talked to a chick from Kenya, Africa, and she said that she's 29 and the age of 30 as a single mother is scaring the crap out of her. I said to myself, Father Time and the Y shall remain undefeated. Good for you, brother. Jay says, I'm literally unplugged from the matrix. I'm not up to date on TV shows and movies. Good for you. How's your life been since there? Unplugging. Never played that. Ishi is back from Southern Cal. I'm out here in downtown LA listening to you on a treadmill. Thanks for covering the puddles for us, Rad. Health and wealth. Happy New Year to you, brother. At a Celtics game, these halftime shows with fat women are gross. I don't accept fat chick. You need a sticker with the no fat chick sticker. Women are exploited with just being born pretty with nice T-ats and ace. They enjoy it. That's all they got to offer. Well, that is the truth. She will never settle because they are all on the attention market. JavaScript Jolt, where are you from? Most men age like milk too. There are a lot of men that age horribly as well. Well said. Well said. They don't take care of themselves. Manage Roy. I'll have to check out that tea. SG says he's barely seen his kids for a couple years. Was hard for a while, but I'm moving past it. You have to accept it. That's the only thing we can do and put our lives together. Hopefully they'll come around. Don't force it. I haven't talked to my daughter in a year and a half. We should never wear our dicks out hard while walking in public. Sure. But they can. I can see the agenda and propaganda and everything. I feel like Neo surrounded by a bunch of great Agent Smiths. Sure. Once you see the red pill and digest it, you start seeing things. Well said, Jay. Alienating kids from the father is pure evil. 100% Otto. Men are the cheese. There you go. I don't play video games, so I don't know what you guys are talking about. One of my stupid libtard friends bought this red Porsche. He goes to Ontario to meet a woman. I said, you mean to tell me that there are not enough good extreme feminists in Boston? You had to go to Ontario? There you go. Stuffing kielbasas in our trousers. Canadian women, no bueno. I rewired my brain being unplugged for almost 10 years. Yeah, we got to rewire ourselves. Yeah, absolutely. The no fat chicks sticker is my favorite. Big World says, if United offered you a job at 3 times your current, would you take it? Even though I worked for United Healthcare when I worked for Optum. Now they're a really weird company. Their problem is themselves. I wouldn't take it. Once you see it, you are disgusted by society and people in general. Well said. Well said, Mayor. What are attractive hobbies to 304 men? Or women? I don't know. What do you think? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Absolutely. You can look at it as a death sentence moving forward in life, or you can look at it as ultimate freedom, which I choose to look at the red pill as ultimate freedom. Reality to me means more than fantasy that I once believed in. So you guys have been great. I'm going to go to the gym. We'll see you on the next one. Catch the streams, catch Hammer, catch everybody. You guys have been awesome. Remember, the true cost of divorce isn't just the financial costs. The biggest costs are your emotional, mental, and physical, and what it does to you. Stay strong. Get out there. Do something positive. 170 pounds. Well said, Rad. What did your ex do to stress you out in the end? Of course, that's what they do. They start fights, arguing. You're saying you would not take the big money if no. Well, I already know. I mean, if I was 22, I probably would. Thanks, Pedro, for being here. You guys have been great. Guys, all these women Google you and find out everything about you. There's Facebook groups about, are we dating the same guy? Yeah. Plumpy in the chat. Good to see you. Where are you from? Yes, I love the no fat sticker. It is funnier than hell. Connected to nature. Well said, guys. You guys have been great. We'll see you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.